Yo, what's going on? Today we're talking about my build, but first of all we need to talk about this Mirror of Kalandra on your screen, because yeah, this dropped from a map, which is insane. I literally never thought I'd see one just drop from a monster. My goal this league was to actually farm one up, so the game must have heard me and just decided to give it to me instead. So let's talk about this, what this does for the build, my character, and the league going forward. So if you like this kind of content, remember to click like, subscribe, follow, and check out my Twitch, link down below. Streaming most every day, still going, even though league's a weekend now. Alright, so let's talk about this mirror drop. I want to point out where this is. This is literally the entrance to the park map. This is a T15 corrupted park map. It died on the first mob after I walked through the deli mirror, and I just stood there and stared at it and watched the deli time expire. So that's insane. Obviously lucky. Used all my RNG in the league for that. And it really is gonna change nothing for me. So let's talk about why. I'm gonna get a different clip playing here, so we can just watch this while we go. Highlight of the build. That's obviously luck. It was the first Mono T15 map. It's around 200x right now for a mirror. So I'm not gonna use it, is the thing. I'm not gonna use it, I'm not gonna sell it, at least for a while, until I'm down to like my last build of the league. There's just no point. I don't have a clip of it dropping. I was just blasting maps like 3 in the morning, so I was sitting there in silence, and then my jaw hit the floor. So we're just gonna hold on to it, hope it goes in the value. It should. It needs to get close to 800. It is in standard, so we'll see. It's gotta go up from 200. It's already gone from like 180 to 200 in a couple days. So this doesn't change anything for me. I was already farming mirror shards. I don't want to use that. That feels like I cheated. Obviously I didn't, but it's what it feels like. Just giving me 200x. So I don't want to use it. We're just gonna move on, and we'll probably use it for like the last build of the league. So don't change anything for now. We're gonna go over my build update. You can see on screen this is basically where the build was at when that. So we did switch up our strategy because essence mobs started hitting really hard, and they weren't hitting me really hard. They're hitting my minions really hard, which was really annoying. The only thing in this game that has made my animate guardian even minimally move on health is dots from essences, so that's really annoying. But this is the tankiest Skelly Mage build I've ever created, ever played. But it's still doing great offense because of all the Eldritch mods and gems and stuff. It's really great. So this is max block, max spell suppression, decent armor, some evasion. So we're setting this up so that at once in the future we can use Grace and block and determination. So I think that is the end goal. We'll talk about how we get there. You'll see Arch Nemesis mods, they still suck sometimes. They still just insta-clap this build if you're not being careful, if you're juicing too hard. Usually it's usually a combination of altars, running into an Arch Nem mod, just not paying attention. Build not full chaos resist, has like 20%, usually good enough to get through stuff. Let's end this clip here and we'll look into the actual items on this build. So we have our wand we crafted. We got the +1/+1 gems. This needs a big upgrade though. It has nothing else useful on this other than the trigger, so still looking to roll better than that. I want to talk about the biggest upgrade we'll need is Ashes of the Stars. This amulet is awful. Literally, it's just there for life in the strength and dex, so we can upgrade this now or even something better, but it's fine. Bone Helmet, this is where we want to get the GG Bone Helmet. We'll get the socketed supports minion damage and hypothermia, and we'll move summon skeletons up into the Bone Helmet. Ideally to move all of our auras onto the 6-link with an Enlighten. I think this is how we get Grace onto the build. So that will come. That's going to be a really expensive. We'll need a level 4 Enlighten, possibly an Awakened Enlightened. So the helmet alone will cost a lot. Probably like, I'm thinking like at least 15-20x. Enlighten, depending on which one we need, can be 10 to 20x. Okay. You see the other gear, like these gloves and stuff. They have a lot of the stuff has crafted life. So we're really trying to get the spell suppression. It's hard to get everything in one go. We got basically spell suppression on everything. Got the brittle ground for our minions. extra chance to suppress. It was really tough to get full spell suppression. You'll see on my tree even we have the spell suppression nodes across and Mage Bane. So endgame build, we need to drop Mage Bane for the evasion if we're running Grace, I think. So that is another plan. And we need more Chaos Res for Simulacrum. We need more damage for Simulacrum as well. We've been having some problems running that. So, alright. I don't know about the cons of this build too, because I think it's just as important, because there are some major cons that have shown up even worse in Sentinel League. First one is Fleshcrafter sucks. It's like the worst item in the game, but it's absolutely necessary for this build. It just doesn't belong on the build at all. Energy Shield does absolutely nothing. This full chest does nothing for your character. It's all for your minions, but it's absolutely necessary. It builds. Well, I did up to like T15, T14 maps with a armor evasion chest, and it felt like you couldn't kill a boss. So definitely need Fleshcrafter, but it sucks having to use it. The build's slow. Probably saw from my clips that it felt a little slow. You're just kind of walking and dropping totems. You don't really do much else than that. I call them skeleton totems. It's not what they are. Minions are stupid. They don't really target the right thing unless you flame dash over them, so you're doing damage too. They'll target whatever you're damaging. They'll also target whatever you mark. That's why I run Sniper's Mark. Oh, yeah, we have to use 2 unset rings too to get out everything we need on this build. So that's fun. Getting the Bolton Helmet should fix that though. We don't need unset rings. We can use like amethyst rings for the Chaos Res. Also, the zombies and Stone Golem, the things that aren't linked to like minion life, they die to everything. They are just they die to every dot. I had to stop doing essences because the bleed dots from the essence monsters would literally just kill every single zombie. They're also the only thing I mentioned earlier that knocked Animate Guardian down health at all. So, looking back, I think this might have been the best league ever for running just straight Absolution as a minion build. Not having to use Fleshcraft for this league would have been a huge increase. Since minions are dying anyways, it'd be nice to have Absolution just running around and the minions just get resummoned. The last thing I'll mention about minions in Sentinel League is that it's really inconvenient to use your Sentinels, because basically they die. Your enemies die before the beam can go off because the minions just start attacking as soon as they get there, right? So we end up in this spot where, like, with Sentinels, you're pressing the button and they're shooting the beams, but your minions are killing them before the beams are getting there, and you end up getting like half the power of your Sentinels. The only way around this is like for you to flame dash forward. Most minions at this point in my build, even without my skeletons out, die to just the zombies and Animate Guardian and Spectres. So a little annoying, but work around it. Okay. Besides that, I don't have much else to mention. I'm gonna make a whole other video on my Atlas passive tree because it worked out really well. Look at my stash. Ignoring the mirror, we had like 4 mirror shards and some X. I've spent a little bit of the. I probably had like 20X at one point. I spent a lot of it for 4 mirror shards. So, the strategy, I had to switch off of the strategy of Metamorph. That was my original plan, was to do Metamorph essences and stuff. That was awful. Couldn't do that. Metamorph was terrible. Essences were terrible, as I mentioned. So we went to like a full bossing strategy. I'm gonna make a whole video on this later because this was really fun. And since the unique monsters were less scary than rares, it worked out really well. There's not a lot of people doing high-end farming for currency, so this worked really well. I got a lot of like Conqueror's Exalted Orbs that were just selling immediately. I don't use them, but they're really good. So leave it there. We have a mirror. Not gonna use it. Thanks for watching. Check out my Twitch down below. Like, follow, subscribe, leave a comment down below if this helped you at all, and catch you next time. Bye.